Okay guys, I want to show you one other thing before I get ready to go to the golf course and fishing. But isn't this place beautiful? Look how the sun just streams through. So you get some sunlight in here. There's a couple places where they get, I don't know exactly, it's over there. I'm not going to show it to you now, but in the middle of the day, there's like little pockets of an hour or two of sunshine. You can just sit there and get a nice tan. That's kind of cool. It's beautiful forest. Just beautiful. So, this tree, by the way, since it's dead, anything that falls off of it, like that log right there would be great if I could somehow get that bark off. I have enough firewood. This too. Anyway, shoot, I forgot what I was doing. So, back to the camp. Previous video I showed you I had a water catchment system, which is this cooler I used to use. This is how I kept things cold when I was living in the tent, my other tent place in York, the other place in York, and I'd have to get ice every day. That was fun. But anyway, you just got fresh water in there. That's just rainwater. There's little leaves in there, and by now all the sediment has gone to the bottom because on top of the tarp there is some debris. So some of that in the mud, dirt got on there. But for the sake of washing something out, right? You know I got coffee grinds in here. I'm gonna get like a 5-gallon bucket and rig a water catchment system so I can have drinking water. Shoot, I probably shouldn't have done it that way. Let me take this thing out first. Rinse off these coffee grinds. See that? Okay. Clean as a whistle. All right. So, back to the tent. So the tarp, when it fills with water, this will sag down and it'll drip straight down. And if it's light rain, that thing might fill up a couple, 3 times a day, maybe. If it's moderate rain, it's like every hour. So if I can somehow engineer something, thinking of like a huge funnel underneath of this, right? Like an automotive funnel, and it funnels into a 5-gallon bucket. A black bucket preferably, keep the sunlight off of it, that way there's no mosquitoes. Keep a lid on it too, by the way. Standing water is where mosquitoes love. But anyway, plumb it out where I get it to go right into that, and then I have unlimited water for showering, for washing my hands, washing dishes. Would I drink it? Yeah, I'd take it and run it through a filter. It'd be fine. Who cares if it's sitting on plastic for a minute or two or whatever. I can even boil it off and then store it for drinking water, okay? So, but at any rate, I also need something for my aquaponics system. I think I decided to do that to replenish the water levels. It's going to be summer, hot as heck here soon, so the water's going to evaporate in my fish tank. So what I need to do is make sure that it's full. So maybe I'll have a little kiddie pool here with my fish in it, and then I'll use the only problem is getting the water pump. Oh, you know what I could do? I could empty it right into the fish tank if I have it right here. If I have a little shelf here and I have a fish tank here, or some type of... The fish tank would be best because it's glass and it's clean. It drains into there, right? It's got filters in there. It will filter out debris. Fish get fresh water plus oxygen from when the water drops into it. It's going to create oxygen. I'll get an air pump for a fish bait, a bait fish bucket at Walmart. They got battery operated ones, the bubblers. That'll create oxygen, right? Then I will, since the fish tank is here, I'll have like I'll have to get a battery operated pump to get the water once an hour to pump out, right? If I could get somehow, I could turn like, anyway, the water is going to make its way down and then flood the beds that I have. I'm going to grow microgreens, are really easy, and other produce and stuff. So maybe I'll do herbs first just because they're easy. Maybe lettuce, yes, lettuce for salads, and microgreens, and maybe something like peppers and tomatoes, really. So those, and onions. So I can make myself salads every day. I love salads with Greek dressing. Forget about it. So anyway, then I could have fish. I could eat them too. I'll take them out of a creek. Like bluegill evidently are delicious, crappie. And they're small enough, if I get a 10-gallon tank, they'll be fine. That way I'll have food source. I'll have water. Not water, but water for the food that I'm growing. And all I need to do is change out the batteries. I don't care if it's expensive putting new batteries in every week. I don't care. I'm going to see if I can do it here. I am an off-grid woodsman, you know. So let me see if I can engineer it. Speaking of engineering, I was an engineering major. I hated it. Hanging out with a bunch of nerds. Trying to hang out with a bunch of nerds. They didn't want to talk to me. Didn't want anything to do with me, really. I think it's because there's such a competition for grades that, you know, and they're just different. They're introverted. Not everybody, but some of them were. And I like to have fun, get to know people, talk. I just hated it. And all the memorization of calculus and chemistry and stuff, it's just not for me. But I do have the love for architecture, and I've already kind of sort of designed my own home with the help of an architect, a guy that draws up blueprints, and I have it. So it's a new type of home. It's meant for small business owners. I'll leave it at that. I have the plans ready to build. I have one place picked out. I paid him $3,000 rent to own. I still owe him $7,000. I told him I went homeless. He said, take care of yourself. Get me money as soon as you can. This is 4 months later now. I have a good job. I had another job too, but it just wasn't working out. Wasn't getting any hours. He said, get a car and I'll hire you as a delivery driver. So that's what I need to do right now. I haven't heard from this guy, the guy I'm doing the rent to own for him. If I don't hear from him, I've called him 3 times already. I'm assuming he's just blowing me off because he's already decided to sell it to someone else. I don't care. I got another property for $28,000, $30,000 I could buy. I could actually pay that off in like 8 months. It's right next to literally 25 feet from a trout stream, naturally reproducing trout, like brown trout, cutthroat. I mean, just amazing. It's got a woodworking shed right near it. I can live in that while I build my home in the spring next year. I can have it paid off and then build as I go with the money I make. No freaking banks. F banks. All banks are scammers. 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 They don't give a crap about anybody. All they care about is money. And they want you to put a lot of money in there so they make money off of the interest. You see what I'm saying? They don't give a shit about you. Banks, all they do, think of a riverbank. It diverts the current, right? It diverts the current. So, what do banks, financial institutions do? They divert or control the currency, right? You don't know about admiral law, maritime and admiralty law? I'm having a cigar, by the way. It's a cigarillo, I think they're called. Believe it or not, $3 a pack. Now, you can't smoke them like a cigarette. Like, you're not going to smoke the whole thing. Just take a couple puffs. It's an easy way to quit. It's my opinion. Do this. You'll hate them after a couple of weeks, and you won't want to smoke anymore because they'll mess you up if you smoke them like a cigarette. Anyway, yeah. So, I want to do some more channels One is on truth. If you think all conspiracies are not true, you're wrong. The government makes you seem that way, because if anybody were to actually look into the conspiracies, they would know that there's truth behind it, and that the conspiracy theorists aren't crazy. See Arlington Road. It's a great movie. Alright. See Mel Gibson. There's a movie about him. I forget what it's called. It might be called Conspiracy Theorist. They made to look crazy so that anyone that is on the fence and starts to look into it but won't want to do it because of shame. They don't want to be known as a person that's a conspiracy theorist. That's the same thing they did with marijuana. You used to be able to buy it in a pharmacy back in the early 1900s. Yeah, they made it illegal in the 40s or 50s or 60s. They put out these propaganda videos of people high, like they were crazy. Now, marijuana is a naturally growing plant. Right? It's not a pharmaceutical medication which is made in a lab, right? It's an actual plant. So anything that's natural, in my opinion, should be free. God gave us this great world. And mankind is the God here on this earth, this plane. Yes. Yes, it is. And they control you by thinking, by brainwashing you since birth, that you need to go to high school, go to college, spend $150,000, $200,000 on college so you get a great job. Turns out a lot of people that send their kids to the really good colleges can't get a job. So what does that mean? It's all bullshit. Evil people, evil bloodlines rule this world. And they communicate, propagandize everything. Those little jingles for the radio and TV, they're designed to get you. It's based upon, I can't get into it, but it's subliminal messaging. It's using frequency of brainwashing you and thinking that this is normal. You give 70% of your income by the government. You don't need them. You don't need anybody. I know I seem radical, but I'm telling you, if you're tired of the bullshit, you're tired of where the world's going, you might want to go off grid, live a simple life. I was really inspired by a guy. I've wanted to do it since I was 25, by the way. So here we are, 27 years later. I was inspired by a Baltimore Raven. I can't think of his name. He was a lineman that after his first contract, he didn't re-up. Because he's like, I'm taking the money I made and just working my farm. He bought like 100 acres and he's a farmer now. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm trying to make some money, pay off all my debt, get hopefully 40, 50, 100 acres maybe. Live near the beach, or at least have maybe 2 small places. Have a main place in the mountains. Because I'm a mountain man by nature. I'm an off-grid woodsman. Maybe I'll change my profile to mountain man. But at any rate, I'm going to spend the summers in the mountains and then visit the beach on the weekends. And then in the winter, I'm going to live at the beach, Outer Banks, number 1. If I can't humanly possible do that, then it would be Myrtle Beach. If not there, Charleston. If not there, northern Florida. Maybe even like Hilton Head Island area-ish. But my niece and nephew are in Florida for school. So I thought it'd be cool to kind of live within an hour or 2 of them. So Jacksonville I've always liked. I don't know why, but I drove through it when I drove down to Myrtle. When I lived in Myrtle, when I had a place in Myrtle Beach, I drove down to a meeting in Orlando. It was like 11-hour drive. But at any rate, I drove through Jacksonville. I was like, oh, this is really cool. There's a river that goes through it and it leads out to the ocean. It's probably really good fishing. Yada, yada, yada. You don't get the full Florida guy thing, Florida dude that far north. I don't know. So that was my thinking. The place I work, they own a bunch of golf courses in Maryland, Pennsylvania, like Texas, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina. So I'm going to take a look. Golf here is dead in Pennsylvania. around Halloween, after Halloween, you start getting to the holiday season. It's getting dark at like 5:30. People just don't get out and play. It's a perfect time to play golf if you love golf. You tee off at 12:30 or 1 o'clock. You're done in 4 hours, 3.5 hours, no problem. Hardly anybody out there. Only diehard, really good golfers usually play that time of year. You wear thermals and like running pants that have like nylon so that the wind doesn't cut through it. You're perfectly fine. Anyway, my battery's gonna die. I gotta go to Rudder to charge my battery up. Post these, and the next time you hear from me, I'll be probably on the short game area or the fishing area, and see if I can catch me some fish with hand lining. With I couldn't afford the hooks because they're like $5 for the hooks. What I did instead, here's my fishing line. I hope that's about 30 feet. And where are you, bugger? I bought these snelled hooks. See this for trout and bait fish? Oh, sorry, for small fish like bluegill. You don't want a really big hook. You want the smallest hook possible. That is about the size of your pinky fingernail, depending on how big your hands are. I can easily cut that string off and then string it directly to the fishing line. I'm very forgetful, so I'm grabbing this now. Oops. I'm grabbing this too. Alright, bear with me for the camera work. I don't have headgear. I don't have a pulley thing to hold the camera. I will eventually. I get paid Wednesday. I'm looking to upgrade, pay off my AT&T bill, and get a tablet at least. That way I have 2 devices. I can play music in the background and also do other things and show you things on the screen with the tablet. So that's the goal this week. And also look into buying a beater. I understand there's someone wants to sell a car for $500. I might have to do it. Be a pizza delivery guy, make $1,000 or $2,000, and then think about getting a down payment on a van or buy a decent van, or depending on where my next place is. If it's in Duncannon, the place I already gave $3,000, I owe him $7,000, and he's walked, then I'll go to another place that I already have picked out, and it's the woodworking workshop. I don't know how I'm saying it. I'm kind of spent. It's taken me 2.5 hours to get here from the time I tried to start a fire. Yeah, so I wouldn't even need... See, the thing is if I had the Duncannon property to get in and out, I'm going to need all-wheel drive because there's no driveway. I would put one in, but, it's not going to happen this time because at best, I'd be able to finance it after I owe him $7,000 to get the $10,000 he wanted, and then he'd let me finance the rest. At that point, I don't know if September, October, if I can get it done and purchased by then, and then I'd have to build, but I'm not going to start building in November. I'll wait until the spring. I'll live in a tent. I kind of want to be honest with you. Show you how easy it is to live in a tent in the winter. But anyway, so I digress. Next time you see me, I'll either be at the driving range working on my short game or putting green, or you're going to see me fishing. Much love, peace, and prayers. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.